Did you get the heroin so we can shoot up? Hang on, let me.
I don't think it's heroin anymore. I think now it's the pills.
Fentanyl. Is it fentanyl or fentanyl? I've heard both.
Well, I guess it depends on if you're being Senator Kennedy or not.
Well, all I know is if you take too much, you'll feel fentanyl. Am I right?
I don't think we should joke about that. These people are dying. Not
the ones that are listening.
Well, again, metaphorically speaking, yes, we're all dying. So, so there's that good news for you, folks.
Yeah, I have to hit the button though before we.
All right, are you ready?
Get going. As ready as I'll ever be, and after preparing all week for this.
Okay.
Oh man, I've done so much. It's for the fans. Greetings, fans. This is the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. I am your host, G. Long. Sitting across the way is Deb.
Hello, all.
All. Every single one.
All of them.
There you go.
Whoever is listening, welcome.
And as always, if you'd like to reach the Long in the Boot podcast, or the crew, as it were.
We are a crew.
Yeah, that's right.
A little tribe.
That's right. And tribu de do. There we go. Yes. Anyway, so the phone number is 337-502-9011. Email, of course, is longintheboot@gmail.com. And, you can leave a message for Deb, too.
I've never even thought that until you just said it.
Hey, if you need some gardening advice, you could...
I don't know. I like to solve gardening problems.
Yeah,
I'm very crafty and creative when it comes to not spending a lot of money.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Or spending it on like one thing, and then saving so I can get lots of other stuff cheap.
Yeah, well, you still haven't figured out how to stop love bugs, and those are finally gone.
Yeah, no, you know what I was doing this morning when I was cleaning the porch, since we've christened the chimenea, love bug spider webs.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because they're trapped all over the porch because all the spider webs.
It's October. Leave the spider webs.
Well, and I started to reason that out and leave them, but then I said it's the love bugs in them. I can't.
Yeah, no, they ruin a perfectly good spider web.
The spider webs are gorgeous, and the spiders have been prolific this season.
Again, another sign that it's going to be a hard winter. It's going to be a hard.
Put your long johns on and get your thick socks and
cut
coats.
Yourself a couple cords of wood.
I love fall and winter clothes,
but
I hate cold.
Well, fall and winter clothes just look better. You can do more.
Well, I like it all.
Okay.
Okay, I won't lie. I just like it all. I like to be barefoot. I like shoes.
Our best wishes and stuff to the folks in Florida who experienced the horrible, tragic thing that is a hurricane.
I've been seeing local stories about PTSD for people here watching the coverage there, panicking and stressing, feeling the same emotions again.
Yeah, and it's weird. The path that it took through Florida literally is there's a certain width, and then if you get outside that width of the path,
there's nothing.
Yeah. It just looks pristine.
Yeah.
And distance.
Your sister's place is good. They went to sign the paperwork for the house they bought in Florida
3 days before
the hurricane. So
I wanted her to leave. So I guess if I'd been a betting man, I'd have been wrong.
Yeah, but we know here you don't play with that.
Yeah, I just bad experience.
No, it is traumatic.
Although I did hear a good point, which was, it's not the hurricane. It's the aftermath. When I'm like, well, that is the hurricane. That's the whole issue with a hurricane.
Yeah, it's what happens afterwards.
But
it's a storm for a day. It's
gross.
It is.
It's just gross when you have a hurricane afterwards.
All right, listen. I don't want to do this.
Although it would be time for our annual hurricane
podcast, but we would do it for Florida. I don't. It's not necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
As your sister said, we're going to live in this bubble.
Yeah, I prefer it. Yeah, just
going to live in this bubble.
And we all do it.
It's necessary to cope and get by sometimes. So 70, 80 miles south of me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, when one hits New Orleans, people, in fact, think about the way it was with Katrina and Rita. Mm-hmm. Basically, the two opposite ends of the state, the toe and the heel,
all got hit.
But the toe got hit, and we were all freaked out, and it was horrible, and the whole world was watching and everything, and it was crazy. But over on this side of the state, the only thing that really changed was people collecting stuff.
Yes, and some of them going down to help. And
then we got hit, and of course we were like, well, they're not talking about us as much. Well, I think maybe people were hurricaned out, but we got help from all over the country again.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
happens.
I'm sure the trucks on I-10 right now heading that way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's bunches and coming from up north, and so we know the deal.
What? Trauma worldwide.
Yeah, I just don't know how they're going to move all those boats.
Oh, out. They're debris now, a lot of them.
Well, my question is, and this is just a thought, if those boats are debris, or if they're not going to be renewed or fixed or whatever, depending on the size, I guess.
Is it a total or is it repairable?
Then how about start building some reefs? Sink all those boats, take them out, find a spot where the reef has been damaged.
Well, I guess if they're metal and then they can.
Fiberglass.
You know what? There are people smarter than us. Let them figure that crap out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
I'm not doing that.
I'm willing to admit when I don't know nothing. And in this case.
Are you? Oh,
sure.
Podcast community. I don't know. Bella's not barking, but she should be.
I admit I'm wrong all the time. No, you're absolutely wrong. I do. I admit it all the time.
You do not.
I do.
That's why it's written down in a book all 6 times in the last 35 years.
As soon as somebody convinces me I was wrong.
Sometimes I just don't worry about it because it's not worth my stress to prove you wrong. Because I don't lose anything by you being wrong and me
it
not.
would be a lot of hard work on your part, so I don't see why you would want to be doing that.
That is just a load of hooey. Hooey, sir.
You know what?
What?
I think it's you who are full of hooey. And you know what you're doing? You're speaking.
Lies. Oh, lies!
That's right.
I think the
Where's
audience,
your button?
I think the audience knows. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I should answer that.
Stop it.
Oh. Well.
Stop it.
Okay.
I know where you're going.
Do you? Then why did you ask where the button was? All right. So I have nothing.
Hang on. I have to cleanse my palate.
Did you feel fouled?
That was just, I feel dirty now. All right. Well, anyway.
It's a Sunday.
There's all kinds of stuff going on. And
it's fall.
We got sick this week, so we were home a day.
We did.
But we've been watching, we've been seeing commercials because we're doing when we get home, we always do the same thing, which is Jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
And
then the local news.
Which means that when people are running for office.
Yes.
You get to see their
Then it's not just lawyers and pharmaceuticals. It's lawyers, pharmaceuticals, and politicians.
Yay, but politicians are just, they come and go. Lawyers.
I wish they would.
Lawyers and drug companies are forever.
Some politicians seem to stick around a whole lot longer than necessary.
Well, you see congressional campaigns basically year to year because they only hold office for 2 years.
So they start campaining. It's like Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
You start planning for it the night after it happens.
Yeah. And for congressmen, basically, you got a year and then you got to start planning on the campaign.
But you're raising money for that year and then the next year. And then you're spending the money with the advertisers. And it's a whole, cycle of money.
Yeah, money. And for the marketing companies and for the TV stations.
They couldn't survive without politicians.
Well, for all those, I'm just going to refer to basically the Republican side in this, that are always complaining about government subsidies to various businesses.
Yes.
What the hell is a campaign?
Yeah, it's a subsidy to
the advertiser. It's a subsidy to advertisers, no question. Paid for by the people, weirdly enough, but the government kicks in like matching funds or something.
Oh, good Lord.
They do. And if you already hold office and you're running for office, you get franking privilege, which means free mail, and that's taxpayer money.
Well, maybe that could save the damn post office. pay for your shit.
Well, no, the post office has to deliver that stuff for free. I mean, that's
no,
the best
but what
way to
I'm
think about
saying
that.
is, if the post office is always economically in trouble, so perhaps if politicians paid for their own postage,
Sure.
and then they'd be a little more thrifty with the crap that they send. 8x10 color glossy
photos with circles and arrows on the
card
back.
stock with all their family and I like dogs or whatever the hell they say.
Well, I'm
that's not
getting to that.
necessary. Okay. Sorry.
No, you were right. You're absolutely correct. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I get frustrated.
But we've been seeing Senator Kennedy's campaign commercials because he's running for the U.S. Senate again, and he likes to portray himself as a whimsical country boy.
As a country boy, he's
just
no
made good.
smarter than you.
And
or
he's
me.
just full of little Southernisms and dog don't hunt and
because I don't know what he's running on except.
yeah,
Well,
I know.
Okay, we'll get there. I just want to gripe about him. He was written in my book before we ever even started thinking about this.
If it was
podcast.
allowed, he would go, well, that guy don't know shit from Shinola. And he'd do it.
I know.
But he comes close sometimes.
I knew we were going to have to talk about Kennedy just because.
Oh, no, I got a lot about Kennedy because,
can't.
one, it's Louisiana politics, and I'm more than willing to get into it. And it's not a negative thing because, look, he's going to win.
Oh yeah, we're not fooling ourselves about that.
He's going to win.
But
There's
I
no
do
question.
There is a question. The question is why.
Well, one, money.
Yeah.
He did send out. He was hurting so bad for money. He needed it so
He
bad.
says you can't have another woke person elected to office. You got to give me money.
My friends, I'm crunched for time and I'm crunched for resources. My opponent in my re-election campaign for the United States Senate is raising bucket loads of money to try to beat me. I'm committed to securing the border. You know that. I'm committing to getting the economy straightened out.
Economy?
You know that. And I am committed to standing up to Communist China. My opponent's not. He's committed, but he's committed to being a woke neo-socialist. I hope you'll choose to support my platform, and I hope you will choose to support my re-election campaign today by rushing a donation to help me hit my end of the month goal before time runs out. Can I count on you? Thank you.
He's got a quota.
First off, before time runs out.
Yeah.
When is that exactly?
Well, election day, I assume.
Election day or death?
Dear Lord.
And he was referring not to the. He's got two candidates running against him.
Yeah. The first one has been running against him.
That's who he was referring to.
Yes.
And that candidate, I have to say, is kind of interesting. He's kind of funny.
He is.
You will remember
he's a
him.
little extreme. Yeah.
He's a little extreme, but you will remember him from his ad that he did where he was sitting in the chair. Gary Chambers is his name.
Smoking a cigar.
Smoking a blunt. No, it was a blunt.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I got the picture of him.
And he according to what I've read, he's raised about $600,000.
Okay.
And Kennedy, of course, he's hurting bad. He's only got $15 million.
Oh, 15 million to less than $1 million.
His campaign war chest.
Oh, well, there's no way his commercials can get paid for with a.
Well, his commercials are great. Some of them have gotten so funny that he's just saying some of the funniest things.
He said, "I'd rather drink weed killer than let down my constituents in the state of Louisiana."
Allow me to retort.
Violent crime is surging in Louisiana. Woke leaders blame the police. I blame the criminals. A mom should not have to look over her shoulder when she's pumping gas. I voted against the early release of violent criminals, and I opposed defunding the police. Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. I'm John Kennedy, and I approve this message.
He approved it.
I guess this is his way of being edgy, right? The new marketing firm that he hired or whatever is just making him edgy.
Well, I was trying to think of a scenario where actually that's good advice, and it was like, Oh, man, I am in trouble. I have got to get this package across town really fast.
We need Crackhead Santa.
Crackhead delivery.
No, Crackhead Santa from Fridays.
You've never seen somebody move so quick.
Crackhead Santa. He makes deliveries.
Oh, man.
Right? But he does it year round.
I'm sure that wouldn't be taken as racist in any way. Crackhead Santa.
Well, he broke into Craig's apartment. And
Craig
stole all their rent money.
He was a bad Santa.
So crackheads are not the people I'm calling.
But I was just
He's
thinking
absolutely
that if you're
right.
in trouble.
Yes.
So I'm coming in with scenarios now where you need a crackhead.
You need a crackhead to show up.
I mean, sometimes you just need a crackhead. Mm-hmm. And again,
we'll have to work on that.
When it absolutely positively has to be there yesterday, call crackhead.
No, he's not talking about delivery, though. He's talking about help. The crackhead is coming to help you. And in that
he's helping you get out of trouble because you forgot to send a package yesterday.
Okay.
That's how fast crackheads are. They move so fast that they change time.
Like lightning.
Yep.
Okay. All right. What else you got? Because you're just going off topic, and I didn't have a.
I'm not off topic.
I didn't have a plan, but
I was talking about Kennedy. I got more Kennedy.
You're wandering.
I have how
Kennedy-isms. I like dogs.
Oh, you want Kennedy-isms? Oh, Kennedy-isms.
Someone, please tell the commander-in-chief that neither my car nor the greatest economy in all of human history runs on fairy dust and unicorn milk.
Fairy dust and unicorn milk. How about that music too, huh?
I told you I hadn't heard that. So
you hadn't heard that one?
No. So I'm thinking I was right about the new advertising, journey that they're going down to make him younger, hipper, appealing.
Well, that's what those commercials are.
Yes.
There's like 4 of them, and they're raw. They're like
young Republicans.
They're almost like not polished.
Yeah.
He's wearing a shirt. Either the tie is partially undone, or there's no tie at all.
A little more casual. So
there's bouncing text on a white background. But I will say he looks more normal in those because they didn't put lipstick
on his little thin lips.
On his thin little lips. Oh. And which he has all the time on the more professional commercials.
The lipstick, yeah. He just,
it's
you
weird.
know what? He has not bowed to peer pressure and not gotten Botox. He has not gotten lip plumping. So
that's true.
Congrats on you for that, Senator Kennedy. He is so the TikTok Republican, is that who he's appealing to?
Well, he's trying to appeal to the young, but I mean, it's Louisiana. You can't really say much because there's going to be plenty of young people that will resonate with him because he'll remind them of their great-great-grandpa.
Yeah, more traditional values.
I'm talking about 20-year-olds. He will remind them of their great-great-grandpa. And So I think he'll fit in. It's a weird thing. Louisiana politics is weird.
It is. But as long as you know that going in, you'll be just fine.
Well, that's true.
Make sure you have the ability to cover your skeletons.
Now, the guy I was talking about a minute ago, Gary Chambers, he says Kennedy is faking
his accent.
His corn pone accent.
You know what? Tell me his background.
Kennedy's?
Yes.
Well, we're going to get into that.
Oh, okay. You want to do your clip
I want to be fair. I've played Kennedy.
So now you're going to play Chambers.
And I don't want to get in trouble because, the thousands of people that listen, one of them might get upset and call somebody.
This is why we're safe to say anything.
And I might get in trouble. They might try to cancel me. Oh, God, that would be great. Anyway.
We get publicity.
Gary Chambers, though, fired back at Kennedy for a couple of the comments he's made. Because Kennedy does a lot of these racial dog whistles that work, in this location. But anyway, so.
Lies. Oh, lies!
Wait, that's not correct.
That was not the right button, and yet somehow it was apropos.
It worked. Somehow it absolutely worked. I meant to hit Kennedy's Oppo.
Well, just hit it.
I'm running for the U.S. Senate, and this is my opponent, John Kennedy. He used to be a Democrat that talked like this.
Well, we have another program here at Treasury that we're very proud of.
But then he became a Republican, switched accents, and now he talks like this.
I will not let you down. I'd rather drink weed killer.
Oh, and by the way, now he's good buddies with this guy.
It's Donald Trump.
John Kennedy inspires people like this and has now raised $15 million to keep ruining Louisiana. We need to build a grassroots movement to defeat John Kennedy and build the margins of the Democratic Party in the U.S. Senate. Chip in today. We're a long way from 15 million, but people power can catch up. Let's go to work.
Avocado toast eating insiders elite.
He leaves that on in the commercial, and it's Kennedy at a Trump rally, and he's talking about the avocado toast eating elite in Washington, D.C. I would like to point out that avocados do not grow in Washington, D.C.
So
they have to be
everybody's elite.
Right. Now, you might say, well, yeah, but I mean, they are elite. I mean, they went to fine schools and special college.
Yeah, and Kennedy's just a poor Louisiana boy
who went to Vanderbilt, and then later was a Rhodes Scholar who got to go to London, Oxford, and get educated. Oh. And then come back and find his accent again. Kind of talk like this and never really sound very Southern. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, I like fried chicken and oh, my dog. Oh, I love like my dogs. Dog. and so it is kind of, so that's one guy running against Kennedy. But here's the point.
Who is not going to win.
And who is not going to participate now in this Senate debate.
Yeah, I read that this morning. Kennedy
and I don't think
won't participate now.
And I think Kennedy would have done the debate if it had just been Gary Chambers.
Chambers, what is he running on? Marijuana?
one of the things, but that was just him joking. But I think it was effective. It was effective.
Well, it's making the point.
But there's a new contender.
Oh, a real contender
on the Democratic side. No, because he's a Democrat. He's got no chance.
Oh, but not in Louisiana.
No.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen is Gary Chambers will carry Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
Okay.
And possibly Shreveport area, but as it's a statewide election, it won't matter. Kennedy will get the vast majority of the vote.
Sure, Baton Rouge, New Orleans.
But there is a guy running named Luke Mixon. And let me see if I can get it right.
He's a tall, lanky drink of water.
He is a tall, lanky drink of water. I don't have him now. I had him, and somehow or another I misplaced him.
You've lost him?
I did.
I don't think Kennedy would be upset by that.
Well, it's okay. I can do it.
Can you? Are you getting the facts correct, sir?
Who knows? Mixon. Y'all
might Google this to research.
Mixon was a Air Force pilot, Navy pilot. Went to Top Gun school, graduated. Ooh. He knows his stuff.
He's a maverick.
And he entered the race, and he was going to be part of the debate.
Did he enter recently then? Because they just now called off the debate.
It's been a little while, but
okay.
But that's the point. Kennedy doesn't want to get into a three-way debate.
Ooh, a three-way. Menage a trois.
Menage a trois debate.
There was no reason for that. I'm sorry. All right, go. Cliche much?
Oh, man. God, we're just children. So anyway, he would be tough to debate.
Yes, he's intelligent. I'm not saying Kennedy is not intelligent.
Now,
I know he's intelligent.
Nixon did shoot himself in the foot in Louisiana politics the other day by saying basically now that he wants to codify Roe v. Wade into the Constitution or into the law, into the legal code, so that there's a legal right nationwide for a woman to have an abortion. In Louisiana, that's
he can hang.
He
up
might
his
as well
hat.
drink hemlock tea.
Yeah, he might as well drink the weed killer.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not going to happen. I mean, look, politics is whatever, but you got to be realistic.
Of your audience, know your audience.
You got to know your audience.
Know your audience.
Yeah,
and that's exactly where Kennedy wins. He knows his audience.
That's true.
He knows his constituents, and he's playing that role to fit it.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I would agree with that.
So, good or bad, I mean, I can give him props for that because, that's what you got to do. And if you get up there and you're too real and you say what your platform is, and you tell the truth, they're not going to elect you.
That's it. And so, it's Louisiana politics. And it's getting dirty.
Getting
dirty.
Since what? I don't know. Since it started?
The guy running against Clay Higgins has a commercial now.
I can't even.
Where he dresses up in the cop uniform.
He's mocking
and he's mocking Clay Higgins. And it's something to behold.
It's pretty funny.
I'm Holden Hoggett, and I approve this message. In 2016, a fraud was elected to Congress. The perpetrator, Clay Higgins, remains at large and is wanted for putting a gun to his wife's head, threatening her if she divorced him, and refusing to pay child support for 17 years. He was last seen impersonating a congressman while voting against fixing the roads you drive on and abandoning hurricane victims. If you have a vote that could lead to his defeat, use it and elect Holden Hoggett to Congress. Your vote will remain anonymous, and Louisiana will be rewarded. For Congressional Crime Stoppers, I'm Captain T. Morse.
Damn, props on that music in the background.
That was
was
good.
Eerie.
Clay Higgins, by the way, said that he doesn't care about the attack ad. He's like,
Oh, no, he's not going to do anything.
he absolutely could care less. Yeah.
That he held a gun to
Because I don't
his
pay
wife's
attention to
head.
political attacks or ads now. I don't even like politicians, he said. And I will get in Clay Higgins' defense. That guy lies in that commercial.
Does he?
He
All
does,
right,
and I'll explain
what's
how.
the falsehood?
He says he voted against help for Louisiana victims of the hurricanes.
Okay.
That's not true. He voted against a bill that the Democrats had stuck an amendment on that would have given money to a bunch of other things. And Clay Higgins wanted the vote to be straight along,
Just
yes or no,
hurricane, yeah.
hurricane relief.
Well, that really brings to light lobbying is one huge thing that I've always seen.
But that was
as
a lie
problem.
of omission on the campaign
and left
ads
out
part.
that part of
and
it.
I don't like Clay Higgins, but by golly, call it what you will. It was a lie of omission in the campaign ads, which they do all the time.
Exactly. That's how you craft your message.
Absolutely.
But lobbyists and the idea that you can have a bill for something that's valid and a good thing for the country or for your constituents, and yet then throw a bunch of other pork into it.
You said pork.
Well, that shouldn't happen. That should be, if you want to fix things, those are the kind of things that need to be looked at.
Sure.
You vote on one thing, not one thing and a package of 50 other things that have to go along with it. Well, you give me this and I'll let you have that. No.
Yeah, no.
No.
Negative. You don't get that.
It's damn clear to me.
And yeah, no kidding.
Okay, so mocking Clay, the wife abuse thing. If you had asked me if I thought that he was a man that was capable of that, I would have already said yes.
Yeah.
So
now, not paying child support, that's weird.
Yeah.
And,
what did she do?
I know.
Let's make her the criminal here.
Well, and it's 100, and she just recently filed.
So
it's been years.
She stuck around maybe she stuck around out of fear, or she's just that tough.
No, they've been divorced.
Oh.
She's not filing for divorce. They're divorced.
Okay, well, then when did all that happen?
I don't know
Was
the
he just
dates,
a hot-headed
but
young
I know
man?
she recently filed for the 140.
You know what? Your mustache is crooked.
Yeah, you know what? They can't tell.
I can, and now that I see it.
All right. Well, I haven't shaved yet. What the?
I'm sorry.
Audience, I apologize for this horrible.
Well, I'm looking at you. I told you,
interruption.
when we sit down here and we do this, now I can't tell because you mushed it. Okay, now it's a mess. Now it just looks like you rolled out of bed. All right, I can live with that.
I can't. It's
Now you're
tickling
doing
my-
it.
It's tickling my nose. Stop it. The audience, this is what
But
I
I get to look at you right now. So
The
for an hour a week,
unprofessionalism.
I really, truly look at you, and now I see it.
All right. So anyway, the elections in Louisiana, we're done with. We should
Are
move
you?
on.
Oh,
We should move
okay.
on to a new
How
topic.
much time do we have left? I don't know where we are. I'm not even keeping track of the clock today.
I'm not either, really. But
Well, I've got the Karen and Becky story with the dinner, the white fragility women.
Yeah.
I've got that.
Okay.
I've got brain science that says, actually, I thought this one was really interesting.
Well, go.
So apparently, while they're doing all these studies on the brain, which I think is really cool, I actually like knowing this kind
You
of
like the
information.
brain?
I like the brain. I like them
Do
understanding
you want
us.
to feel the brain?
Oh, don't do the Dahmer crap. No Dahmer references, okay? We have like a resting state for our brain, right? When our brain is, we're not doing an activity. Hold on, I'm going to find the place where the baseline resting state is. They call it like the default mode. That's what they call it. So our brains all have a default mode. I'm not going to go into the specifics of of the actual study, but studies have revealed the default mode network, as it came to be known, was involved in thoughts about your identity, replaying memories, and theorizing about the intentions of other people and thinking about the future. So when your mind is spacing out or daydreaming, the areas of the brain that are the most active are those. So
I'm sorry, what?
What were you thinking about? The future, replaying a memory, thinking about your own identity. Who am I? So when you're in that default mode and you're not active, when the brain is idle, that may not be a good, thing.
A good fit.
You might be thinking too much. You might be, when those people who
yeah.
overthink, and I used to be one of them. I think I have gotten much better at the not overthinking and staying active. Gardening is part of that for me. I'm not thinking about myself or my future or any, intentions of other people and why they might have said that and not this.
You're just focusing on the black hole, the abyss that is the end for all.
And I'm fairly positive about the idea that we all come to an end. It's not a troublesome.
Well, there's nothing to be negative
It's not
about
a troublesome topic. Yeah, so I can handle that.
And then we break down into our constituent components.
Oh, we're all constituents always. So I think that's kind of interesting, right? Your default mode, when you start finding yourself in that circumstance where you suddenly realize you're overthinking or overanalyzing, and I'm not saying you shouldn't analyze, because good God, there are certain things you really need to look at, but worrying about whether somebody was after you when they said something, or critiquing yourself over and over,
giving too much credence to what somebody says.
Yeah, let that shit go.
Yeah, and I'm sure, especially, it's gotten worse because you can't.
Because
no
now
nuance in text,
and there's no privacy at all. Everything you do or say, or even your just being, can be filmed now. So
yeah,
you know how you used to think when you were a kid that there was like a camera watching you all the time.
Yeah, I mean
that idea that
somebody's watching you,
a constant narrative.
Well, I think
happening.
if you catch kids at the right time, that's why.
But
that's
now
why you
it
can.
Is.
But they've used that though for a long time, which is. First, before cameras or anything, was God is watching.
Well, sure. And so you always have that idea.
The all-seeing eye hanging over you.
But it certainly doesn't make some people behave better.
Well, I think it probably makes some people behave better. I don't.
A small percentage?
Yeah, I think a lot of people. The idea that, no, come on.
Like the guy who tried to cut in line at you.
I'm not talking about bad people. I'm talking about just people in general who are, let's say, religious in nature or whatever. If they believe they're constantly being watched by some omnipotent being.
Or does that just bring...
And really, in the end, you're talking about, imagine, if you were a peasant, this would mean that your king could watch you all the time.
Yes, because he was appointed by God.
All the time, 24/7. Every little thing you do.
And your life sucks
now,
here,
for
but
some people, there was probably comfort in that, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. For some people, it would have been terrifying. For other people, they just kind of stuck it in the back of their mind and didn't think about it. I don't think it's any different today.
No, I really don't think we're all that far from.
And in fact,
people
many of us know that we have an all-seeing eye listening and watching us because we let it.
Oh, like Siri?
Well, just all of
that,
it.
Yeah.
Yes,
that we've given ourselves over to all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Skynet.
All right,
Skynet. Let's just call it Skynet. Right?
Yeah.
They can watch everything. There's right now, the big battle between Microsoft and Apple and Google over who will be the dominant car computer.
Oh, well, that is a big thing.
They're pushing really hard.
And this would,
because your car is going to be part of the network. So not only will the network be connected to your car, as you drive through a city, the stats of your car will constantly be being relayed back to to Skynet.
So safety wise, it's fantastic,
but it's also fantastic for advertising.
Privacy wise, yeah. Well,
as you're driving down the road, it's like, hey, there's a McDonald's just around the corner.
Yeah, no, I've seen that in.
But you know what?
Already.
If it knocks down billboards, I'm all for it.
No, but the billboard will just be running in your damn car.
Fine.
No. You say that now, but that's a horrible concept. You know what? If they wanted to be sincere about all their green crap, they would say not have individual cars anymore, and they would just build a real, reliable, and expansive rail system across this country.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Slot cars. They should have done that at the beginning.
So
they should have made little slot cars.
Honestly, if we need to be kinder and more thoughtful about our environment, then that is absolutely the way to go. And stop with these individual vehicles.
Yeah, I saw, by the way, in Europe now on the major feeder highways, the right lane is for trucks that have this device that just rises up and hits these wires
in the road,
and it allows them to go gas free for however long the road is. And these are the long roads. These are the major hub roads that go to like docks and they go to rail yards.
Yeah.
And
the roads that they travel.
Correct. Now these trucks still run on gasoline engines, but they don't have to.
Yeah.
And so
that's part of the transition.
Well, they immediately get quiet. It was really weird. The guy in the truck, he's doing gas is like, and then he puts the thing up and he's just like, click. And then it's just like, and it was like, wow, that was cool.
That's awesome. Well, you remember when they first started coming out with electric cars and they were talking about the sound, they were worried that people in cities, blind people, like they wouldn't realize, right? Because they're listening.
Sure.
So they hear a car, but
you got to give it a noise.
They got to give it some kind of sound or you're going to hit the blind.
And it's got to be loud enough to overcome all the other noise because people are walking
around it.
Earbuds in anyway.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I hadn't even thought about that aspect of society.
Earbuds. Everybody's going to be deaf in the future. They're going to have hook necks.
Well, and think about how our brain has to develop.
Deaf.
If you're going to have music predominantly in one ear, because most of the kids, it's one ear, right?
Yeah.
So they can have one ear available for you. You're only
worth an ear.
You're only worth one ear of listening on my part.
But here soon that won't even matter because the induction speakers that are coming, that I'm sure parents will buy for their kids because they won't even have to hear their music at all.
Yeah.
And it's these bone induction thing. They're little pads, and you put them on the back behind your ear
on that
bone,
bone or whatever
on both
called.
sides, and the music's just in your head, but you can still hear just fine with your ears.
So again, the brain, then the pathways of the brain. Wouldn't you think there were different things happening?
Well, I think we'll evolve into some kind of weird.
I wonder if our brain shape will change.
I don't know. Parts of the brain are going to get used that never got used before.
Talking about the future here, folks.
Listening to two sound streams at the same time and being able to discern.
Yeah.
We can't do that right now, but maybe in 100 years, if we don't blow ourselves up, maybe we will be able to. And then we got the glasses or the contacts that have the screen, so you can see stuff, but you can also see a little tiny screen.
I'm both excited and terrified at the same time.
I'm not. I'm old.
It won't matter to us. You know, as far as like age, like Japan lives the longest.
Like, you young whippersnappers with all your stupid stuff. And
you're being a cliche again.
I think when you get old, you are a cliche.
Is that what happens? And that's why we're scared.
Well, you know how it is.
So no, it was the story about the age.
Stereotypical old men are painted that way for a reason. It's because they all are kind of the same. And
old women as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Monty Python they do it the best.
Yeah.
Monty Python old women are the best. They are the icon of all.
Set?
Okay. No, it was 88, I think, was the expectancy age in Japan. The U.S. was like 7th on the list of industrialized
those
countries.
Asians are going to outlive us.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We're at 77.
I saw one today. It was an Asian old lady. She says she's 88. I don't buy it, really, but it was in a UK paper, so who knows. But she says she's never, in 46 years, she's eaten no food, that she has only drank water.
Yes, I read
and
that
had
as
salt
well.
and lemon juice.
And it made me think of the breatharians and the other people who
and the butthole
absorb the sun through their asshole.
Yeah, whatever. I don't believe it. No.
Well, I mean, I believe they're doing it, but are they doing it and nothing else?
Here's the sad thing, though. In the story, they have pictures of her doing all her yoga poses.
Yes.
Damn.
Well, yeah.
If she's 88
that
and doing those poses, that's pretty awesome.
Drinking lemon water may not be the reason for that.
I'm sure she weighs in at a healthy 66 pounds.
Yeah.
She was tiny.
Yeah. And living for what?
Right. You know what it is. She wants to be a man, baby.
What?
That's right.
Take your male bullshit.
Oh, no, it's true. Don't you know that men are more feminine now than they've ever been?
Oh, are you going there? How long is that going to take us?
Not
do
long.
you really want to do that story now?
Sure.
Although it is fascinating.
Okay,
All right.
2020. This is, by the way,
Let's wrap it up with this.
ironically, a few of these tweets were I'm going off a guy's Twitter page who looked these up for me.
Oh, okay. So you did the secondary research.
Correct.
He did the primary for us.
Ironically, this guy's name is Paul Ferry.
Fairy or
F-A-I-R-I-E.
Oh, Ferry.
I'm sure he would prefer that. Anyway, I don't know if
I'll give him that.
I didn't explore far enough to find out if this is parody or not, but these articles and these pieces that he's got are real.
Okay.
And it's from different TV shows and different newspapers. Anyway, so 2020. Well, the East knows this. In the West, the steady feminization of our men at the same time that Marxism is being taught to our children is not a coincidence. It's an outright attack. Bring back manly men. Quick to agree with Candace Owens was her right-wing peer Shapiro, who argued on Monday, anyone who pretends it is not a referendum on masculinity for men to don floofy dresses is treating you as a full-on idiot. So, okay, so their hypothesis is that men are becoming girly.
Okay, and when was this? That's
2020. That was 2020.
That's Ben Shapiro, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years earlier.
I know things about him, and I don't think I like him. Actually, I don't really care about Ben Shapiro at all.
No, I don't either.
It's just funny.
How about Alex Jones?
What? He's a lunatic.
He was. He argued in 2013 that juices were feminizing male children, giving them too many juices, like apple juices.
Grape juices, Capri Suns.
And after you're done with your juices, it makes people want to go out and have a baby. This is from his show. I know. So he goes, he's talking about men, that juices were feminizing male children.
Yes, okay.
Once you're done with your juices, you're ready to go out and have a baby. You're ready to wear a short skirt. Okay.
Wow.
So fruit juice makes them fruits. You see the connection?
Did a fruit juice company drop him as an advertiser and he was getting back at them?
Show me, Alex, where the orange touched you.
Jeez. It was a banana.
How about 2004?
All right, go further back.
Today's men, particularly young men, are embracing their feminine sides, experts say. They're seeking sleek electronics, the right face cream, and an honest manicurist. It's a social evolution, said Candace Corlett of Strategic Retail.
Strategic Retail?
A consulting firm.
Oh, of course.
There's even a new name for this category. It's called a metrosexual. Now, notice he said it's called a metrosexual.
Oh, because we don't want to say he's called.
He's a man who's not afraid of Celine Dion or hair gel.
In 2004?
Yeah.
Okay.
Celine Dion. Who the fuck is afraid of Celine Dion?
She's like 98 pounds.
My dog could kick her ass.
Bella.
Don't call her. Get her started.
Well.
1997. Southerners think that men are less manly and that women are less feminine than they used to be, and that both of those things are not good. So says a poll taken by the Institute for Research in Social Sciences. But why Southerners think men are less manly? Men are less manly? Man are less manly.
Women work hard. I don't even know where they're going with that.
People further back couldn't possibly have believed that. 1984. Are American men wimpier now than then?
Yes, thank you, Alan Alda.
I'm an older woman, and I believe in equal rights and all that, but don't you think all this women's lib stuff has contributed to the wimping of American men? The wimping. Am I just imagining it, or is today's man less manly than the ones I grew up with?
Oh, just wait till they start tweeting.
And he keeps going. 1970, living in a high-rise apartment building helps make men feminine. A New York University psychiatrist professor of environmental studies said, a man who has no garden to dig or the opportunity to carry out masculine activities becomes effeminate and ends up helping his wife with her daily chores.
You know what? I agree with that.
Said Danielle Capon, who also blamed high-rise living for boredom, depression, early death, obesity, and vandalism.
Yes.
Okay, but you can't very well say that he's becoming effeminate because he's helping with the wife with the chores.
No, he should be helping the wife with the chores no matter what. However, being able to go out and be in nature is extremely important, I think, for men and women.
And it wasn't just happening in the United States, it was also happening in London as well.
Say what?
1965. Oh, I'm gonna do it up.
No, don't do it. Please don't do it.
That men were becoming feminine was the motion debated by Chelsea and Wilden young liberals at the College of St. Mark and St. John, Chelsea this week. The motion was proposed by Anne Varney of Chelsea to a room that included young liberals from many branches of inner London. She said that men were increasingly avoiding their responsibilities nowadays. I'm going to stop now. And that their increasing use of toiletries, long hair, and dandified clothing were obvious signs that men were becoming effeminate.
What year again? 1965.
And with this went a lack of manners and gentlemanliness to be expected from the youth.
And if it was already going on, no wonder we're in the state we're in now.
Now, 1950 now. We're going to start stretching it out. And I like this one because it's just, here's surprising news. We men are getting feminine. I can't entirely stomach the idea either, but it seems to be true. Some research guys looking into men's masculine-feminine ratios tell us we're losing our masculinity and gaining in femininity. What a discovery. In the few years, we'll probably be singing soprano.
Oh, dear Lord.
That was from a news editorial on the radio.
So feminizing men, though, just makes you more civil, right? Isn't that the whole purpose? We've become more civilized in all of these years over time, and therefore men are becoming more civil.
Civilized, you say?
I say civilized.
1940.
All right.
At the meeting of the American Medical Association, a speaker maintained that the American people, especially men, were getting less vigorous, men becoming more feminine, and women more masculine because we don't eat enough raw meat.
Raw meat? Oh.
Who was the speaker? Let's see.
Okay.
Jeffrey Dahmer. Oh, wow. Who knew?
That was, you stretched for that one. Good job, baby. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Here we go. The Lions program. This is Lions Club, 1934, Harlingen, Texas.
Harlingen. Okay.
Just as in Rome before it fell, women are becoming more masculine and men more feminine, said Reverend Flynn Long.
Oh.
In a talk to the Lions Club at the Madison Hotel earlier this week, when they honored their mothers.
Okay.
I don't understand that sentence.
I thought.
Oh, you need to rewrite that, son. He said women imitating men have caused men to become less chivalrous and declared that too much feminine influence early in life was having a terrible effect on men. Mothers, sweethearts, and wives were guests at the luncheon. He was saying that too much feminine influence early in life
is bad.
You know what? You need to slap your babies around. That's
right. Don't be such a nurturing mother.
You know what? Men need to be around the babies more. That'll help. What? I'm confused now.
Well, basically, he's just laying it all at the foot of women, and it's our fault.
This is just a headline. It doesn't even have a story. It's the headline that was in the paper.
Okay.
Are men becoming feminine, and are women to blame?
Well, that's what the last story you just read was indicating. We are to blame.
And I'm not going to read the whole thing. 1925, a New York physician said that men are becoming effeminate. He cited lilac pajamas and embroidered bathrobes for men as proof.
Awesome.
1922, they were upset in Long Beach, California, because a man came into court wearing makeup. He had ruffled cuffs.
Ooh.
And he had a ribbon with a small ponytail.
Lestat?
1922. I know, it sounds like Lestat.
It sounds like the vampire Lestat.
The judge later was found with 2 holes in his neck. An investigation is pending.
It's pending. Exactly. All right. Well, did it go back before the 20s? I mean, I could see lilac pajamas. Look, they were marketing in the 20s. The 20s was the boom time, right? We're going to sell everything we can.
1910. If the American woman persists in her undue athletic sports, there will soon be little difference between men and women.
Well,
in no other country in the world do you see such masculine-like figures that the American women seem to have.
Wow, you ought to see the swimmers these days, buddy.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you done? I mean, I know you could go on because I know there are stories in the 1800s of this kind of observation.
Well, there was one last one that kind of stuck with me. 1886.
All right.
Men becoming feminine in their bearing and women growing more dashing.
Ooh.
Are the sexes changing place? 1886.
Yeah.
It is rather amusing to note just now that the fashionable world displays a tendency decidedly the reverse of that which obtained a few years ago. Horrible writing. Once it was proper for men to cultivate a martial bearing.
Martial bearing. I like the use of
Martial
the language.
bearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish you could write a sentence. Yeah. They held their heads in the air, took manly strides, held their shoulders back, and were brisk and talkative. The proper thing for girls at that time was the drooping and willowy article.
Yeah, keep your shoulders hunched and don't look anybody in the eye.
It hadn't much appetite, and it cultivated the habit of drooping its lids over its large blue eyes.
So that coy look.
It.
Okay, I got a pronoun issue with you, sir.
All this is very bad form now. Men should droop a little, carry themselves carelessly, and bend their head a trifle forward, if the 500 specimens on view at the horse show are to be taken as examples.
What? Who is it? Wait a minute. Who is he comparing to a horse?
I think he's saying facetiously that men should
be more horse-like.
No, I don't think he means it. I think he's being sarcastic. Because then he follows it up with. No, he's saying that. Yes, actually he is.
I thought it was a comparison.
Men should droop a little and carry themselves carelessly and bend their head a trifle forward. He's saying they look like horses. It's a bad insult.
Oh,
wait. Okay. Their clothes should not fit too snugly. Their trousers must be very wide and always freshly ironed so that the seams will allow just as they do or will flow just as they do in trousers that have just come from the tailor. So he's making fun of them for having a seam?
Okay. You know what? I don't know who this guy is, a fashion editor or what he's trying to... Wait, let me ask this question. Is that an American paper?
Yes.
Okay, so he's an American. Well, I would venture to say that man might be gay.
Well, he certainly is odd when he starts all of a sudden referring to women as it.
Well,
it.
That's one trigger for me. If I'm going to use that word, there would be a spot I would use it. I don't feel triggered very often, but the reference to women as an it.
It hadn't much appetite.
Yeah, don't eat a lot.
Don't eat a lot.
No, you got a small stomach. You better keep it that way.
You having a crouton, fatso? You better put that crouton down.
Clay, put that gun down.
Allegedly. I'm going to wrap it up. I am going to wrap it up. There.
Okay.
I got two things, both quick, just as laughing
That's a
things.
lie, too.
We have time.
Okay.
We haven't quite got an hour yet.
You don't give me anything at the end.
Oh, you got something?
No.
Yeah, well, then shut up. Okay. Picking on me. I'll just do the one.
Okay.
And it's something new, and I think all the people out there with young children should take note, because this is really big. This is huge
I can
parenting
see it in
news.
your eyes. This is a lie.
Oh, my God. I'll read the headline. Kids thrive with sittervising instead of constant parental involvement. Experts say.
Sitter, S-I-T-T-E-R, vising. Sitter.
Latest parenting trend just makes sense for both kids and parents, and here's why. The concept of sittervising, which means allowing children to play amongst themselves without parental intervention, is beneficial to both child and parent, according to several parenting experts. The term sittervising was popularized in an August 10th, 2022 blog post by Seattle mom Susie Allison.
Oh, ooh,
she
Susie.
popularized it since August 10th.
Thank you, Susie. We appreciate it.
It was entitled, Why You'll Find Me Sittervising. Yet people have been using it on TikTok, and now the term is trending. The term has been around since 2021.
Oh.
Wow. She said, sittervising means to supervise children from a seated position.
Sit on your ass and watch your kids from around your phone with one eye as you glance to the right.
Allison describes herself as a former teacher with a master's degree in early childhood education and a mom of 3. Aw. She says she's been using the term sittervising for years. Well, somebody's lying here. 2021.
Yeah. Well, it just until it gets put in print, though, it doesn't mean anything.
My community members are thrilled to see sittervising expanding outward, and the reaction has been positive.
Getting approval for sitting on your butt and letting your kids do what they're going to do.
Noting that sittervising has benefits for both child and parent because parents cannot dedicate 100% of their time to play with children, she said that parents have other things to do, whether it's a job outside the home, inside the home, or to make the home function.
Cleaning.
She adds,
chores.
When parents dedicate 100% of their time to facilitating play for their children, they do that at the sacrifice of their other work. Parents are then forced to do a day's worth of work after the kids go to bed. This leads to parent burnout, guilt, and stress.
It leads to anger and resentment. Oh, dear Lord.
The seismic shift in attitudes toward parenting was evident in the late 90s, said Allison. That decade saw parents dedicating more of their time, money, and resources to raising children in a way not seen in previous years.
Oh, helicopter parents.
Social media, she said, turned parenting into something that is pinnable and postable, with parents becoming competitive as they compared themselves to other parents and how they were raising their children. Somewhere the idea that raising children required parents to facilitate every aspect of their child's life became normal.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Parents, your kids need time. They need their own time.
Get your ass outside and go play.
Yes. Don't come back until noon.
Mom, you don't
lunch.
have to be mad. I'm not mad. I'm sittervising.
That's it.
What? That's all it is. You don't have to be helicoptering over your parent 24/7. This is how kids were actually raised for years.
Well, yeah, but these kids have phones. Parents still have. They have there's little apps that tell them where you are at all times.
Before you let your child out of your sight to go play, take their phone.
No, then it's not safe. Don't you understand? Actually, I had a quote about that. Kids and grandkids now are being raised to be afraid because
fear.
modern times.
Well, we had that episode.
Yes, we did. But look at what we've got now for
fear porn.
So 2 or 3 generations of terrified people, parents and grandparents who were,
It's
you got to watch them all the time.
You know what?
You got to watch them all the time.
Your kids
every
need
minute.
to play without your intervention.
I know.
They don't have to belong to 50 leagues.
And then we watch Dahmer, and you go, "Oh dear God, don't let him out of your sight."
No. That was a whole different thing. Speaking of parents and those problems.
Those parents.
Oh, hey, note to self.
Yeah.
Don't take lots of drugs while pregnant.
No doubt. Pharmaceuticals. That's a story about pharmaceuticals. I said that is all bad parent decisions and pharmaceuticals.
Oh, and lack of concern for marginalized communities in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yeah, the police dropped the ball there too. Okay, so
they did.
There is.
And I did have one other thing about an OnlyFans star saving a man.
No, are you going to save that?
But it's not even an important story, really.
All right. Well, avoiding unhappiness is not the road to happiness. So.
Who said we're supposed to be happy all the time?
Exactly.
We're not.
No, we're not.
We're not
Hector.
that way.
Hector said that.
I mean, it would be great, I guess.
Those are all my Hector-isms.
Maybe that's the problem, though. If you're happy all the time, then you don't recognize when something truly is worth being happy about.
Well, that's the bubble we started with.
Yeah.
We started the show talking about the bubble where you ignore all of the horror going on around you because it's not affecting you.
Yeah. We all do it.
No, we don't. Some people get in their cars and they drive their ass down to Florida and they help.
Yeah, I'm talking about outside of that.
Like if you're not going to do that, and you're going to continue living your life, you have to insulate yourself to some degree.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, we did it. We stayed away during the hurricane, but honestly, the amount
hurricanes.
A lot of the stuff that was being done, I don't know that I'd have been a big help.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
And certainly the young people that helped me, because, well, I'm not a young whippersnapper anymore.
You're not a young one anymore.
I'm quite appreciative for.
Well, I'm just those poor people in Florida. I know what they're
It's going to be a long road.
Yeah, it is.
Very long.
Here we are 2 years out and still having that stuff too.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, way to bring us down at the end there, Deb.
No, it's part of that cycle, right? That we all keep going. That's the point.
People listening to the podcast are probably at home crying.
You
right
can't shut up. You can't avoid the unhappiness. It's going to be there.
No tragedy.
Yeah, and are we wrapping it? Do I say my tag?
Do you say your tag? You just all gung ho to do it, aren't you?
I don't have a button, so.
A button?
A button.
You said button.
I know you love that when I say button.
God, it drives me crazy.
I can be Senator John Kennedy.
I'd rather drink weed, killer. What's he got again? Honestly, he mentions that in like 3 different spots.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Okay, stop.
Wait, his other Kennedyism though. Wait, I have the right to remain silent. I just don't have the capability.
That's a Facebook meme, old
God,
man.
yeah, that's just so stupid.
All right. Your joy.
Stop doing it.
Your joy is
and don't
portable.
wear lipstick. Unless you want to, Senator. I mean,
I'm not. You
if
wear
it makes
your
you,
lipstick.
if it makes you happy,
put your wig on, wear your lipstick, prance about.
Put your wig hat on.
In a floofy dress. All right. Can I do it now?
I suppose.
All right, people. Be joyful. It's portable. Bring it with you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye. It's almost time. All right. Time to put on the game face.
I like dogs. I don't have any sound.
You don't have any sound.
It doesn't sound right.
It sounds perfect.
Does it?
I can't hear you.
Shut the fuck up.
Ah-ha!
Shut up.
There you are.
You start that with me, I'll go back outside.
Can I hear you now?
Yeah.
Can I hear you now?
You can hear me. Damn well right. I like dogs.
Oh, me too.
I like turtles. He didn't say that. If he really wants a true audience, he needed to say,
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
Yeah, that's what I want in my U.S.
You want to
Senator.
show you're hip and woke?
No, he doesn't want to be woke.
So you want to be asleep? Comatose?
In the modern parlance.
In the Biden type of
Yeah.
comatose? I'm just so sympathetic. Please let that man just rest.
Biden?
Yes.
Oh, I know. God.
It's very sad. And you see it, he's getting weaker by the day.
He's going to keel over.
Well, I'm assuming that's what he or his wife or the powers that are controlling him want. I don't know.
Won't somebody help this poor man?
He needs to die on the battlefield.
Die on the battlefield?
Of politics, metaphorically speaking.
Well, there's lots of those.
What, that die in office?
No, that need.
And then they're making fun
away.
of the Pelosi.
Well,
And saying the same crap about her.
I got a cough again. It's a phlegm thing.
Dear God.
I'll have to cut that out.
Unless you want your audience to hear it.
No, we don't want that.
Don't show weakness.
Never show weakness. If you show weakness, you know what happens.
Yeah, stay home from school and rest.
Yeah. I've decided I can turn up. You can pull your mic away if you need to a little bit because I'm going to turn them up a little bit.
Okay, so I don't have to like sit on it.
Correct.
But I can tell the difference. Should I be here or should I be here?
Well, remember that microphone, you got to talk more or less directly into it, but you can turn it sideways provided it's turned up. So like, see how I'm talking cross axis, like a 45 degree?
Well, once I get it in place, I'm scared to.
And then talk past it, not to it.
Like over here on this side of it.
Yeah. And you can you see how mine's almost level with this
toe down, almost level.
Yeah, it's level. Anyway, so I'm talking past it.
Just tell me,
and that's supposed to help with the
popping
plosives.
Oh, I try not to do that, but when I just get relaxed, I do.
Yeah.
Is my level good? That's all I need to know.
Let's see. Go ahead and talk.
I'm talking.
Not really. Okay, you're here. I'm just going to
fix it so that you don't have to fix it in post.
I don't want to fix it in post.
Well, I know. That's why I'm saying it.
I have to do it all the time. It's horrible. Horrible, I tell you.
Okay.
All right. It's going to be election Sunday, kind of, sort of.
Okay.
I mean, we are going to talk about one particular election, mostly. It's Louisiana.
You're doing Louisiana stuff. Yeah.
Some.
And that's fine. And I have 4 or 5 things. I got a couple things jotted down. I actually remember to bring my notebook back here. So,